So yesterday I brought this to work and someone said, "Oh, ticket thing's broken." So I'm like, "Hey, I got it." And then I did this when actually I just hit the thing and it worked, and the lady freaked out. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Comics and Coffee. I am your host, Jay Wheeler. How was your 4th of July? Was it alright? Did you shoot fireworks? Did you have barbecues and hang out with friends all along the side of a pool? Hopefully no one got injured or too wasted, because that is always the case when you have a really good 4th of July party. You're either something really goes awry or you're severely hungover. Either way, it's bad. But I hope none of that happened. I hope you all had a great 4th of July. Hope everyone hung out with family and friends and chilled and stuff like that. I was working. So I essentially hung out with friends and family. So I hung out with my mom, then I went to work, hung out with friends. I did the same thing, but I was at an airport working at the same time. So, all right. So let's talk about some stuff. Okay. So today, since I didn't do a new comic book Wednesday on Wednesday, then do new comic book Wednesday on a Friday, and then I'm gonna show you some art of one of my friends, Andy, who was on the previous video, on what he did to one of my comic book characters that I made up in my head. And then I'm going to talk about two news stories, because there's a lot of comic books here. And yes, I'm going to show them, review them, and then do news and show you this awesome picture of Dark Youth that Andy did. It's pretty awesome. He showed me this and I'm like, hey, I remember doing this. It was a little art writer thing that we do at our comic book meetings. By the way, it's called SCCG. Uh, they had us writers make up a character and write kind of like a scene, and then the artist would draw depicting on the scene that we wrote what he would look like. And so Andy drew Derek Young this way, which is pretty awesome because Andy is an amazing artist, and I thank him for this. So, yes, that's some of the things we do at comic book meetings over at Empire Comic Books. As you can see there's the address and everything. It's a pretty cool comic book place. You should check it out if you live in the greater Sacramento area. Okay, now, two comic books at hand. First, we got Guardians of the Galaxy, tomorrow's Avengers. Basically, in this one, it's going through each character and telling us. I'm guessing it's after. It's supposed to be after something, because at the end of the issue, it tells you to read 1, 2, 3, and 4, but there's nothing going on. I mean, they get out of jail in 4, but nothing too big yet. So, but yeah, they go through each character, and I'm thinking that the Star Master is going to bring them back together. He goes through the universe, finding each other and going back and saying, "Hey, I need you. Please come back and help us. Let's try to get this back together." So, yeah, so far. Oh, also, and each storyline, there's a different artist, so that's pretty awesome as well. So it's number one of tomorrow's Avengers. It doesn't have anything to do with the actual Guardians of the Galaxy comic book. I think it's going to be their own comic book. It's pretty thick, but yet the art and stories are pretty awesome. So go ahead and pick this up if you want. If you love the Guardians, check it out. Alright, secondly, a new one from Dark Horse, which again, Dark Horse, you make some pretty good stuff. I mean, damn. Now, so we're going to talk about Catalyst issue number 1. In this comic book, it's about this guy right here. The world's ending supposedly, and there's this huge, like, six-eyed alien mythological beast kind of thing attacking the Earth, and this guy he's kind of doubting himself because he thinks he's the only superhero right now to help save the Earth when there's actually like a whole kind of like a league of superheroes, but no one is there to help him. And so he goes through like this. By the way, this guy has super strength and he can fly, which is pretty cool. But the art in this is pretty awesome as well because it's like that 50s style. It's kind of like a Darwin Cook kind of style, but it's not Darwin Cook. But at the same time, it's kind of, like I said, that same style. But this issue, when I read, was pretty awesome. I mean, it was pretty good because it had good story. It had the hero not being so, because in the 50s, all the heroes were like, oh yeah, I can save the world, and they thought they were the shit. No, this guy has kind of self doubt. Kind of thinks what he's doing. He's kind of questioning every move he's making, and he's constantly in his head as he's trying to save Earth. Now he goes through this one last one last final battle cry kind of thing where he just flies straight into the monster and goes through this trippy like out of body not out of body experience but like this. If you ever seen the New Frontier, the movie, the DC movie, where they go through the alien into this alternate time space and all this weird trippy stuff starts happening to him, that happens to him. He goes through he goes from a skinny, scrawny dude that has no powers and is questioning himself to an old dude, an old man with his suit and a cane, and he just lets out one more battle cry and it just transforms him back to himself and then shows him flying out of the monster. And yeah, you should pick this up. Check this out, Catalyst. It is it's at Empire Comic Books. Empire Comic Books Vault. Check it out. This is pretty good so far. I cannot wait until I read the second one. Alright, and then we got Deadpool Kills Deadpool #1. Now this is where I'm guessing an alternate universe Deadpool is going to this universe's Deadpool where he's a good guy. He's like an anti-hero, this Deadpool. And so he's finding all the Deadpool cores and through the Deadpool core and killing them off one by one. Yeah, and it's it's a Deadpool comic book. So if you're familiar with Deadpool, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with Deadpool, and this is your first time seeing a Deadpool comic book, Deadpool used to belong to a team that Wolverine was on and Sabretooth was on. And so then he's a great assassin with the mouth, but at the same time when who was it? I think someone, I'm not sure, I'm not really on Deadpool, so I don't know the complete origins of Deadpool, but turns out later on that I believe one of the generals, I'm quoting this from the movie, so I should check this out later. But if you are a Deadpool fan, please leave me comments and let me know how this all happens for real. But he has Wolverine's ability to regenerate. And so he's not able to die. So therefore, now he went on a killing spree, and then now he's now he's on a turn of heart, so he's kind of a good guy, but not, he's an anti-heroish kind of guy. So, yes. Sorry, Deadpool fans, if I butchered the whole origin story there. Like I said, I'm just getting into Deadpool, so hopefully when I read more about Deadpool, I'll know what I'm actually talking about instead of kind of going on in bits and pieces of what I've read and watched and heard about. So, but yet, pick this one up if you love Deadpool because it was pretty funny. I enjoyed myself reading this. Alright, and then we got Batman Incorporated number 12, when the final battle begins. So this picks off after 11, where he makes his huge bat suit and injects himself with the man bat serum, and doesn't turn completely into a man bat, but he fits the huge bat suit that he makes, and he goes and fights Talia, which, by the way, all these other bats follow him, and so Talia sends her bat here, human bats, and against him, but the small little bats have the antidote in it, and it just cures all the man bats and stops one attack from Talia al Ghul. And so she's kind of getting frustrated on why he just doesn't give up. But do not want to tell you the rest of this issue, because throughout this whole Death of Damien issues, it's been an up and down roller coaster. So it shows how Batman is going to either completely break and just say, just fuck it and kill someone, or stay true to who he is and move on after getting closure and then moving on as Batman. So pick these up if you haven't read issues 8 to 12 now, of how Damian has died and how Bruce is avenging him. Alright, and then also we have issue 3 of Victorious. In this issue, the Victorious League is going through a trial of having an actual, some kind of Justice League judge them, and maybe possibly separating the team and taking people that are actual good superheroes, and putting them in another team and renaming them. That's what he's worried about. This guy right here is worried about. But this guy is yet still going on a rampage. So, again, Dark Horse, right here, Dark Horse, making really good comic books with good art, a good storytelling, and good superheroes that are not just like normal superheroes that have normal minuscule problems. These heroes have huge actual life problems that affect them being superheroes. So check out Victorious. It's pretty awesome. I loved it. The first issue I read, I'm like, I need to read more of this. Alright, and then lastly, hey, that was weird. Sorry I cut out a couple minutes after I just reviewed Victorious. But I just wanted to go over one more last comic book called, and sorry Jason if I get this wrong, but this is Jason Doobie's comic book called Blimp, and it's pretty good. It has a lot of mythicality and very well spoken kind of, it's a well spoken comic book. Let me just put it that way. But basically, the story is that Anubis and his brother, who has blonde hair, and is the most powerful one. They run hell, and they run hell together, but at the same time, his brother's thinking that he is lying about something. And this is Anubis over here. See, this is Anubis right here, and this is his brother, and they're running hell together. And his brother, this guy right here, is thinking that Anubis is lying about something, which Anubis is not lying about something, but he's just hiding something, and he wants to escape hell with his wife and their kid. But his brother finds out, and they start this huge, epic battle. See, this is huge, and the artwork is pretty awesome. I mean, there's just a lot of color, and it's pretty awesome. It's just it keeps moving, and you want to know what happens next on each panel, which is pretty awesome. But here's the kicker: his brother doesn't know that Anubis has a kid, and that's this kid right here. And so, as as the time goes by, Anubis's kid, Blimp, Blimp is right here, grows up and starts seeing he has his own powers, I believe, and he wants to fight against this gentleman who is Anubis' brother. So, and that's basically what the whole first issue was about. It's just getting the whole, story together, telling about the origins, and yeah, like I said, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty good color. There's a lot of brightness. There's a lot of great color spread out through the whole comic book. Story is great, and you should all look up Jason Doobie, because you should look up these two gentlemen. See, this is Jason right here. That right. See this guy right here that I'm pointing to with my hand? That guy. That's Jason. Check him out on Facebook or Twitter. I don't know if Jason has Twitter, but check him out on Facebook. He's on the SACG page. Yeah, but great job, Jason, because this is a pretty awesome comic book. And yes, so now I again apologize for the glitch, but it seemed like there was a time riff going on through my computer, and it, I had to go take care of some things. So, again, I hope you all have a good evening or good afternoon. Please read more comics, because your entertainment will be better if you read more comic books. And please subscribe, and I hope you all have a good day.